YouTube founder community, Franz Ferdinand fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the brand new Franz Ferdinand Greatest Hits album, Hits to the Head, released through Domino Records in March of 2022. This is the first new release from Franz Ferdinand in a couple of years since their Always Ascending album, and I am so stoked that this thing exists. Just like Alex and Bob have said in interviews, they're fans of Greatest Hits albums, and I am too, because for a lot of people, how you discover a band is through a Greatest Hits album, and it leads you to the actual albums. So I've always been a humongous proponent of Greatest Hits albums. They're just so fun. Plus, all the good stuff is in one package. Obviously, a lot of other stuff could have been on this too, but for 20 songs, you really get your money's worth on this thing. So if it's the first time you've ever heard Franz Ferdinand, this is a great place to start. Hands down, I love it. I love the album cover artwork. It looks like classic Franz Ferdinand. It's just so fun to look at and to hold and to have something new from Franz. They're one of my favorite bands. I've been a fan since day one, since the first album came out. So for me, to be able to hold a Greatest Hits album, having been there since 2004, in one part it's kind of weird because I've been like, wow, I've been a fan of this band literally the entire time they've existed, and now we've gotten to the point where they're putting out Greatest Hits albums in an era where Greatest Hits albums don't really exist anymore. And that was one of the things that, like, a lot of the interviews with Alex and Bob, everyone has kind of been like, why are you putting out a Greatest Hits album in the days of Spotify and everything else? People could just make their own mixes. Yeah, true, they can, but this is done by the band. The band picked the songs because they figured this is probably what people would want to hear if you saw them live. You hear the big stuff, and there's a couple of deeper tracks in here, but for the most part, it's mostly singles, bar for a couple missing singles, but anyway, regardless. So this won't be like a full-on review per se of every single song because I'm gonna save that for like doing the actual albums. But I will talk about some songs because the reason why I would recommend picking this up is because like 7 or 8 of the songs on here are different mixes. They're single mixes or non-album version mixes. So it's worth picking it up just for the curiosity's sake of it all. But I will talk about Darts of Pleasure, the very first song on the album. It's the single that started it all. And it really is kind of the blueprint for what a Franz Ferdinand song should sound like or could sound like, or the basic skeletal elements of what makes a Franz Ferdinand song. Driving hi-hats, punchy drums, stabbing guitar riffs, Alex's vocals that blend anywhere from soft whispers to just yelling his ass off. The tension on this song is palpable. And that's one of the things I love about Franz Ferdinand's music is the tension, the anxiety, the drama, the rock and roll of it. They encapsulate so much of this like art rock feel, but with a little bit of that like fuzzy rock and roll, with a little bit of that disco, with a little bit of that dance on the floor kind of stuff, all smashed together with these really smart lyrics. And that pretty much is Darts of Pleasure in every song on this album. It's a classic song that for me, if you've only heard one Franz Ferdinand song, Darts of Pleasure would be one that you should hear, or at least Take Me Out, which was their biggest single in the early days. But the band right now has gone through a couple different lineup changes in the last few years. Nick McCarthy left about 5 or 6 years ago at this point now, and he was replaced with Julian and Dino, and they've known Julian and Dino forever. And then just recently, in September or October of 2021, I can't remember exactly, the drummer Paul left, and Audrey Tate is now the new drummer, the first female member of Franz Ferdinand, which is really, really cool. So, the band is continuing to change and grow, but still sounds like Franz Ferdinand. The 2 new songs on here, Curious and Billy Goodbye, sound like classic Franz. And I'll get to those later in the review, but for right now, let me just talk about the different versions of the songs on here. Again, this won't be like a standard type of review, but anyways. Walk Away off of You Could Have It So Much Better with Franz Ferdinand. I still call it that. I know it's not what the official title is anymore, but like when the album was about to come out, it was called You Could Have It So Much Better with Franz Ferdinand. And to this day, I've always called it that. I love that album. The album, every song on the album is an absolute classic. But the version of Walk Away on here is the 7-inch version. So at the very end, that little coda where Alex has a couple of lines that he sort of whispers out, that bit, the vocals are taken off and the guitar kind of fades out. So that's a little bit different. Lucid Dreams. They put the 2008 single version on here, which I was blown away by because I know the Tonight version so well. And it caught me off guard because as the album was playing, I didn't know that was gonna be the version. And all of a sudden it came on. It caught me off. I was like, "What song is this?" And I was like, "Oh my god! It's Lucid Dreams! Holy crap! It's the original version." And the reason they put that one on here is because that's how they play it live, apparently. So it's really nice for that thing to have a home. This Fire is the album version. It's not this Fire. It's the album version, which I was definitely surprised by that choice. Both are great. The Fallen is a very interesting mix. It's got much heavier guitar leads. It's much shorter and chopped up. It gets the point across, but it's definitely got some, you'll notice it, much heavier sort of riffs kind of mixed in throughout. But it's still a great damn song. Outsiders, I believe, has a shorter ending as well. Know You Girls is definitely the much shorter single version, and Always Ascending has the intro cut off. So it's single mixes of a lot of those songs. The two new ones on here, Curious and Billy Goodbye. Billy Goodbye came out first at the end of 2021. It was the first song to feature Audrey on drums, and it definitely has that classic big euphoric chorus that Franz Ferdinand is known for. Big kind of a chunky rhythm on this one. But Curious, that one really caught my attention. I love the lyrics on this one. It's a total curious, curious. It just stays in your head nonstop. It's a great damn song. So, you know, it could be a foreshadowing of what's to come for their next album, what kind of sound they're going to go for. I don't know if these two songs will be on the next album. Probably not. They'll probably just be for this release only. But yeah, for those two songs alone, it's nice to pick this thing up to have those things for them to have a home as well. But here's the back cover. And the packaging on this thing is top notch. Let me tell you. So the inside is great. You get a great photo montage over the years of all the guys. I love these pictures of them hanging out next to each other. The classic lineup there, the four of them. And this came out in multiple versions. This one in particular is the Spotify green vinyl, which I'll show you right now. So this is the Spotify green vinyl, which was only exclusive to Spotify. If you're fans of the band, you get like an email saying that an exclusive pressing was done for you, so you're able to order it. But each side of the record has different bass drum heads from over the years. So here's the classic one. Here's one of the first ones. I think that is side one. Yeah, it's side one. And this is side two with the Take Me Out era, if you will. But that green looks so good, and they sound awesome. It's so nice to have Franz Ferdinand on vinyl. As for the booklet, they did it spot on. They really did a great job. Not only do you get all the lyrics for the songs and when they were released, there's a little essay for the first few pages. So you get like a history of the band as they were starting out, playing their first gigs, figuring everything out, figuring out who's going to play what instrument. And then an excellent selection of pictures from the guys' personal archive here. So you get like posters of shows they were playing, really early concerts of themselves, lyric sheets, pins, them in the studio. And I'm a sucker for this stuff because when you're first discovering a band, seeing memorabilia like that kind of like contextualizes where they came from and when they started. So it's nice to have things like that. I remember reading a book about The Who when I was first getting into The Who and seeing a lot of pictures of stuff like this, and it just piqued my curiosity so much, and it led me to want to learn more about the band. So really nice to have these on here. And again, all the lyrics to the songs. Nice to have that. And there's a picture of them playing live in 2019 with the last show they played for a long time. Look at that audience. Good Lord, there must be like 60,000 people there. It's huge. But yeah, really, really nice setup with that. And because I'm such a mega fan of Franz Ferdinand, when they announced on their website that they were going to do like a big special package of this thing, I had to do it because Franz is one of those bands where I'll buy anything they put out. I'm a huge fan of them. I'm so lucky I got to see them live in concert in 2018. It was when Always Ascending came out. And it was something I never thought I'd ever see them live. So to be able to see them live was incredible. They put on such a good show. It was so loud and rocking, and the crowd was great. Every single song just made you get up and dance. It was such a fun time. So, I mean, it was really special. And this band for me, every album they've put out has been a big moment in time for my life. So whenever I hear the first album or the Tonight album or Right Thoughts, Right Action, each album for me is like a different moment of my life. So it's a bit of a snapshot as to where I've been, which I don't normally talk about myself on this channel too much, but with the Greatest Hits album, and I've been with this band since day one, their music has been a part of my life as I've grown up. But anyways, the big package from their website, you get the album on cassette, which I have not opened yet, but the album on cassette. You get the album in a really nice CD, looks like a book. Really nice CD booklet set. And they recreated the exact same booklet from the record, which is nice to have in a smaller format. And the gatefold, just like the album. And the record, I haven't opened the record yet, but this is going to be on limited edition double gold vinyl. The sticker is the exact same thing for the Spotify one. It just says green, and the sticker itself is green. So you can pause that if you want to read it. But the coolest thing that came with that I was like just nuts about, they printed a lyrics book, a separate lyrics book, and they signed it. So like I actually have their signatures. There's Audrey, Julian, Alex, Dino, Bob, they're all up there. So cool to have that. And you just get a really nice booklet of their lyrics. Because their words really do read like poetry. I mean, there's been some change, but we're still outsiders. If everybody's here, then hell knows we ride alone. I mean, these words are really damn good. I swapped my innocence for pride, crushed the end within my stride, said I'm strong, now I know that I'm a leaver. I love the sound of you walking away. Look at that! It's so cool! So there you go. Franz Ferdinand, Hits to the Head. I'm so stoked they put this thing out. There's talk of a rarities album as well, which would be really nice because there's so many B-sides that would be nice to have in one package as well. Over the years, I've tried to collect as many B-sides from these guys as I could, various MP3s or whatever over the years, but like L. Wells would be nice to have, and so on. There's just so many B-sides. So for this thing, for me, easily it's a 10 out of 10. I love every song on it. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a huge Franz Ferdinand fan, but if you want to get into this band and don't know where to start, here you go. This is the one. Start with this. It will lead you to the rest of the albums, and you'll discover each album has a unique sound all of its own. Yeah, you know a Franz Ferdinand song from any other band, but each album specifically has its own sound, and you'll notice that as you go along, which I'll talk about more in each individual review that I've done. I think I've only done one album review for them so far. That was Always Ascending back when that came out, so nice to have a new one on the Giggens channel. So there you go. Hits to the Head, Franz Ferdinand, 10 out of 10, hands down, all day long. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Giggens. This has been Franz Ferdinand. Pick this thing up, stream it, download it, buy it, in any format, and enjoy it, because it's a hell of a good listen. And a reminder that Franz is one of the best bands that have ever existed. So there you go. My name is Giggens. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel and cheering me on and watching these videos over the years. It means the world to me. Anyways, that's enough for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.